We are back with another One Piece top 10 ranking list. And for this one, we're gonna rank the top 10 strongest women in One Piece of all time. One quick disclaimer before we begin, I will not be including Vice Admiral Gion because there's just so much uncertainty with her. I'm just not sure at all what the future holds for her in terms of the story. I'm not sure if she'll be relevant, and also the fact that she entered the story as a fan request. I feel like there's just way too many question marks to properly rank her. With all of that out of the way, let's get straight into the list. Right at number 10, I have the captain of the 6th ship of the Blackbeard Pirates, and that's Katarina Devon. The information we have on her is limited, but we know that she is the most dangerous female pirate that was ever imprisoned and impaled down, and she was on the worst level of impaled down, level 6, where the most dangerous of criminals were at. Now you fast forward and you find that she's on an emperor crew. On top of that, she's been given a devil fruit from the rarest type, a mythical Zoan. There's quite a few things to prepare her forward, also a few that hold her back just a little bit. There's the nature of her devil fruit. Although it's a mythical Zoan, I'm not sure how the Blackbeard Pirates and Devon will utilize it specifically. It's likely we haven't seen all of its abilities, but at the same time, it's also possible she'll be used mainly for espionage, trickery, stuff of that nature. With her ability to turn into a clone of other people, I can easily see the crew using her to spy on other people and infiltrate other organizations and other crews. And then there's the fact that she's also a potential Robin or Nami opponent. So that kind of limits my ability to gauge her higher and move her higher up in the list. Just off the accolades that we've seen from her so far, I think she deserves number 10 on the list. And now at number 9, I have the commander of the East Army of the Revolutionary Army, and that's Bello Betty. One reason I have Rover Devon is the fact that she's a confirmed Haki user of both armament and observation. And then there's her devil fruit. She has the ability to give armies increased fighting spirit and physical ability. She was able to empower a town of nothing but common folk with enough strength to take down the Peachbeard Pirates, and this was an established pirate crew, so the fact that normal citizens were able to defeat them without even having the right weaponry gives us a very significant glimpse into Bello Betty's power. Now the thing is, we haven't seen how good her solo combat is, but we have seen some of the other Rev commanders when they fought the admirals, and the people around them were hyping up their power, saying how impressive it is for them to hold their own against the admirals like that. And the biggest thing here is the fact that Bello Betty has a higher bounty than all of them. Although it might not be 100% certain, it might imply that she is stronger than all of them. And I don't think the limits of her fruit have been specified yet, so that's going to be very significant later on, especially if she's able to use it on herself to increase her own fighting ability to a whole other level. That might be why the world government considers her so dangerous. Whatever the case might be, we're sure to see more of her very soon, especially because she didn't participate in the fight against the admirals, so Oda might be saving the best for last. Jumping right into number 8, I have Stussy, who is also confirmed to be a Haki user, but also more importantly, she's also confirmed to be the clone of Miss Buckingham Stussy herself, who we know more commonly as Miss Backen or Weevil's mom, who happens to be a former Rocks pirate member. Stussy herself, although being a clone, she was able to become a CP0 agent and one of the strongest of them all, because as we know, she was one of the masked agents who were stated to be on an entirely different level than all the rest. She was able to subdue Kaku and Lucci, but I don't think that means she's stronger than them, because she even said that she is not on their level. And I feel like that means as a masked CP0 agent, she is on their level in their basic forms. Once we go into the realm of awakenings and their devil fruit abilities, they're on an entirely different tier altogether. But again, the important thing here is that Stussy is a clone, much like the Seraphim once you take away the whole Lunarian thing. But the fact is, the lineage factor was used to make her someone else's DNA, and she might be an earlier instance of cloning, but I feel like the lineage factor primarily works in the same way. And what sets Stussy apart is also the fact that she was able to mature for decades, because it was implied she was made a very long time ago. Seraphims themselves are very young and haven't had enough time to develop. For Stussy, in her case, assuming Miss Backen was a combatant, she would have gained all her abilities over time, as well as additional abilities in her time as a CP0 agent. Going into number 7, I've got Charlotte Smoothie. There is not all that much to say about Smoothie, but there is just enough to put her at a certain place on this list. One of the things that we know about her is that she's a swordsman, and she gains greater power when she has her crew around her, because she's able to use her devil fruit to boost not only her size but her attacking ability, and even without that, she has very immense physical strength as a result of her already large stature. Here's a very important thing though. Luffy had 2 opponents during the Whole Cake Island arc. That was Cracker and Katakuri. One is the most powerful Sweet Commander, the other is the least powerful Sweet Commander. And where does Smoothie fit in all of this? She's right in the middle, so it makes it that much easier to gauge her strength to just say she's weaker than Katakuri but stronger than Cracker. And this is going off a bounty, so it's usually the case with these Yonko commanders that they're ordered in strength by bounty, just like the rival crew of the Big Mom Pirates, the Beast Pirates. King, Queen, and Jack are ordered from strongest to weakest. All in all, I think being stronger than Cracker and a bit of distance away from Katakuri is enough to have her this spot on the all-time list of the strongest women in One Piece. And at number 6 is someone I was very much looking forward to talking about, and that's Jory Bonnie. For many years, Bonnie was kind of the scapegoat when it came to ranking Supernova. She was the one that people will always place last, and I imagine that's because she's a woman, and I can understand, it's a natural thing. At the same time though, I've always thought that her devil fruit had a lot of potential, and that she would surprise a lot of people. Even without her fruit, let's put that to the side for a second, because in the pre-time skip at Sabaody, when she tackled Zoro when he was getting ready to attack the Celestial Dragon, she showed great speed and agility. Then again on Egghead, when Luffy was about to attack the Pacifista, which of course resembled her dad, she again showed this great agility. Let's get into what makes her the most special, and of course that's her devil fruit. Initially, the idea presented of course was the fact that she can age and de-age things, but now we know she can actually turn herself and other people into alternate timeline versions of themselves. Against Vegapunk, she uses effectively to alter her strength. She was able to peer into a timeline where she resembled her father with his broad shoulders and his immense power. This alone opens the door for some pretty insane potential. Just imagine how many different timelines there are and how she can use that in combat. Imagine there's a timeline where Kuma is a conqueror and he passes it down to Bonnie. Bonnie will have a lot of relevance in this final saga, given her fruit, her connection to Kuma, and the fact that the world government used to be in constant pursuit of her. Without a doubt, her stock will continue to rise. Now we're getting into the top 5, and this is the point where these women are sort of associated with legendary status. First one at number 5 being Shaki, who is the former Empress of Amazon Lily, and it's that very fact that has her this high. It actually wasn't until one of the recent chapters that this was confirmed for us, but the fact that it was confirmed allows us to speculate a lot on her power. Of course, she's married to Rayleigh, but that wasn't enough to say this is a very powerful woman. It wasn't concrete enough. And something else that's a little more concrete that we can build off of is the fact that Garp used to pursue her. And we know who Garp is. We know the type of legends he goes after, so he doesn't chase after fodder or weak people. Now, the fact that she was a former Empress of Amazon Lily and led the Kuja warriors means that she is a very good Haki master. And it makes sense. She would need these sort of abilities to evade Garp the way she did. Now we have number 4. And who's at number 4, you might ask? Well, of course, it's the current Empress of Amazon Lily, and that's Boa Hancock. And I have her over Shaki because she has actually shown significant combat prowess. On top of that, she is a confirmed conqueror. Now, I'm not doubting that Shaki might be a conqueror herself, but the fact that Boa is confirmed, I give her the slight edge. Then there's also Boa's devil fruit, which can prove to be very hard to counter for a long list of combatants. They even drew caution from one of the 4 emperors, Blackbeard. In fact, he was worried that she might be able to kill his entire crew because of the effects in turning them into stone. Boa was also selected to be one of the 7 warlords, and she acknowledged herself that it was because of her strength. The only thing holding her back is the fact that she is not an advanced conqueror's Haki user. And the one I have directly after her at number 3 is, and that's Yamato. Some might say this is too high, but I think it's just right. That's just how great advanced conqueror's Haki is. Yamato might not be in her prime, but I think with the characters that come before her, I think she has that edge on them. I think what's limited her the most is the fact that she was in captivity and she's not as powerful as she should be at this point at this age. But still, she got plenty of sufficient experience fighting one of the strongest people to ever live in the One Piece world, and that's her father Kaido. Ace himself said there is no way somebody who is not a captain should be this strong. As the daughter of an emperor, it makes complete sense. And as an Oni and a mythical Zoan, she has insane endurance and exceptional attacking ability. In the fight against Greenbow, he remarked that her Haki is unordinarily strong. I'm pretty sure all that fighting during the raid actually boosted her to a new level. It wasn't only the Straw Hat, she bloomed too, and that's why I'm very confident in her spot right now as the number 3 strongest woman of all time. Of course, that can change once we learn more about certain other characters, but with what we got right now, this feels right. So now we're getting into the top 2, and at number 2, I have Suru. It should go without saying, when I consider characters like Shaki and Suru, I'm considering them in their prime versions. Now, obviously, Suru doesn't have an insanely powerful devil fruit. She isn't confirmed to be a conqueror's Haki user, but what I think holds her up and puts her ahead of all the rest is her association with Garp and Sengoku and how she's held up as high as them, or just close enough to where you have to respect her strength. Here's the thing, they all joined the Marines at the same exact time, 56 years ago. They all grew together. They all had these insane battles, these insane encounters with these legendary figures of the One Piece world. Suru did not skip a beat. Just look at the way Doflamingo reacted whenever he saw her in the flashback. Anytime he would be up to no good, the moment he saw her ship, he would flee the scene immediately. He did not want any smoke with her whatsoever. And that extends well into old age. She's still very powerful. Look at the end of Dressrosa when Bartolomeo was telling the Straw Hats that Suru and Sengoku were on the way. They said, what are legendary figures like that doing going here. I don't think much needs to be said about how people view her. I think it makes complete sense to view her as the second strongest of all time with all this experience, and I definitely believe there's a very high chance that she'll be revealed as a conqueror at some point in the story. So now we're finally at number 1, and who we have here is someone that everyone will agree with, and that's Big Mom, Charlotte Lin herself. Of course, I could leave it right there and be done with it, but that just wouldn't be fair. She has so much accolades, so much going for her, so much to prop her up to even on the same level as some of the strongest men in the entire series. And that's saying a lot, because for the most part, Oda does a lot to hold women down. But Big Mom, even since her earliest days, was a force to be reckoned with. She was out here as a 5-year-old folding giants of Elbaf. It was stated that she had so much potential that she could someday become an admiral, maybe even a fleet admiral. And then later on in her prime, we see that she has the abilities of one of the most versatile devil fruits in the series, along with the strongest haki in the series, Conqueror's Haki. So with her immense physical strength, her haki ability, and her devil fruit, there might be some significant distance between her and the second strongest woman. I mean, she has enough power to go toe to toe with Kaido, so that says it all. She is without a doubt the strongest woman in One Piece of all time. And with that, we have reached the end of the video. But of course, as always, tell me what you think. Give me your list down below. Let me know who you think are the top 10 strongest women in One Piece of all time. Comment on your thoughts down below, but also don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for more videos just like this one.